Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Let's put on the hat. What's up, guys? Margin, Sasha, Anna, good morning. Ghost, Fade, what's up, man? How's it going, everyone? '94th on the list. Appreciate the like, Paul. Palantir, nice. Yeah, Palantir was great. Margin, nice catch, man. Very nice catch. Strong outperformance out of the gates at 177 reclaim. Had it. I had it. Just didn't go for it. Mistake. Full of mistakes yesterday. We'll talk about it. Full of mistakes. One of those days for me, but we brush it off. That's what we always do. Not worried about it. Morning, guys. It's the life of a trader. Don't short into the daily 20 like me. That's right. That's right. Sometimes you just don't follow your own analysis. It's crazy. You get a little bit of tunnel vision. We'll talk about that today a little bit. I'm going to make a video about it. I think it'll make a good video. Just learn from my experiences, from my mistakes, which was yesterday. But not going to think about it too much today because it's gone. It's over. Short-term memory is probably the biggest and most important trait of a successful trader, right? I think you got to have short-term memory. You can't, continue to let something like that affect you. You can't change the way you trade because of it. You can't try to revenge. You can't try to nothing, right? Today's base hits, just as always, take good trades, do what we know works. I was able to do well all of September by doing something, right? So I just got to stick to that. I can't try to do something out of the ordinary to try to make that loss back. So that's very important today. It's Friday. Definitely going to be gonna try to make it a one and done type of day. Be more patient today. So I guess we'll get into it. Yesterday, talked about not shorting into the daily 20, right? Talked about how we needed to get a bounce to fade, right? Pop and fade idea. I mean, this was everything I talked about. It's actually so crazy to think about how we can trade differently than what we thought just 30 minutes prior to the bell, right? That bell and the tunnel vision that can follow when some things start moving and there's, charts are moving up and down on your screen and numbers are flickering all over the place. It's crazy to think back and see how you can throw away everything that you wanted to follow, right? It's wild. And so yesterday, I knew not to short the morning drop. That would be the trap, the sort of short covering squeeze back higher off the daily 20. Look to fade back at a higher level at the previous day low. I mean, this is everything I talked about. And what do? Right? I short the morning drop. It's just crazy. It's very frustrating, but it is what it is, right? It doesn't happen often to me. You guys know that. I share all my performances with you guys, win or loss. I've had a great month of September, and it's crazy to see how after, this entire month of just sick trading, one day can come in and you just screw everything up, right? Not in so much in terms of like the whole month, but you just don't follow anything, right? It's crazy how quick trading, you have to be on it every day. There's no coasting. There's no, I know what I'm doing now, so I'm going to always be perfect. There's always going to be that day that you just say, it's like you just never traded before. And that was my day yesterday. I shorted into looking for some gap downs through some gap fill levels. I shorted when the market was at the daily 20, and it was just idiotic. I mean, that's really it. So it's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's funny to think back. It's funny to think about. It's crazy how you can be so wrong after being so right for like 25 days straight. So wild. But that's why we love it. That's why I love it. It's a mental challenge. It's maybe not so much physical, but it's a personal challenge. It's, you against you. And I think that's what continues to bring me back. I just love the game and I love the challenge. And, I love making back, my losses. That's what I love to do. So we'll do it the right way. We know the right way to do it. It's not to make it back in one day. It's try to make it back over the next few days, over the next week, and just do the right things. So today, heavy focus on doing the right things, the things I know that are right, and not allowing some tunnel vision to creep into my trading. So if that's happened to you guys, which I'm sure it has, know that it still happens to me 12 years later. Eunice! Man, Eunice, I don't know, man. I don't know if I feel okay with you doing this. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Trust me. I'm not going to complain about $100 a day. Selfishly, thank you. I'm definitely, let's get you, I think, did you send me an email, Eunice? I didn't check my emails yesterday. Eunice is already one of the giveaway winners today. Let's say that, right? We'll have more giveaway winners, but Eunice is definitely the giveaway winner. He will be a winner of the giveaway. I'll tell you that. I'm going to rig it. I'll rig the giveaway today for Eunice. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But we'll have other giveaway winners, but Eunice is definitely one of them. So, Eunice, you let me know if I'll have to check my emails. But thank you, Eunice. I didn't check them yesterday. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So creative. Yeah, all right. Let's do it. Thank you for the support, guys. I'm always going to be fully transparent with you, win or lost. It's the truth. It's the reality. It's much easier to be open and transparent than to hide something. It's very easy. It feels good to talk about it, and I really have no one else to talk about it with besides my camera that's sitting in front of me, which it's not even real people. It's just this camera that's sitting right in front of me. That's who I'm talking to. But, hey, it helps. So let's do it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's have a fantastic day. And here we go. All right. Mic's working today? Beautiful. Okay. So the first thing I wake up to is that Trump is putting tariffs on my kitchen cabinets, which is not good. That's a lot of money. So I'm going to have to potentially look for new kitchen cabinets today. That's the first thing I wake up to. Because those are not cheap, and 50% tariffs on that is not going to help. So, yeah, cabinets are very expensive, by the way, just so you guys know. I'm sure many of you do know that, but I'm going through that process right now, and it is quite expensive. But anyways, let's jump right into it. So, I guess I don't. Do I say Alexa? Do I say that? I don't want to say it too loud. What is it listening to? So, anyways, yeah, I gotta find some USA. I gotta find some US based. I agree, Rob. I think right now they're European, so might need to change the direction we're headed. So we'll have to see. Anyways, let's continue. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. So first thing, news this morning of the tariffs. I guess you guys could watch Restoration Hardware. You could watch Wayfair. You could watch Williams-Sonoma. Those are some of the names that were sort of affected by that tariff news. I don't know if that's really going to be something I go look for today, guys. Not going to really chase that, but just know that there are tariffs that were put in on big trucks, as they call them, like semi-trucks, and furniture. So strange sort of, duo there, but just know that was this morning. There was news this morning on that. Okay? All right. NASDAQ futures. What happens yesterday? You know what? Actually, let's start with the ES, because the ES is about as perfect as it gets. So yesterday we wake up, right? We're talking about watching the previous day low, which is right here. We're talking about how this previous day low is the level to look for the fade at, right? We want to potentially look for a retest and rejection of the previous day low for the next short opportunity, right? So the market opens and we just go straight down, right? Straight down into the daily 20, into the 66.40 demand, and we have an aggressive bounce back higher, which pretty much just holds higher the rest of the day, pretty much most of the afternoon, right? Pretty much until 1 o'clock, 12:30. And that simply is, guys, that is late shorts getting squeezed out and short covering, right? That's all that is. Brian, appreciate that, man. Nice job yesterday, Brian. Way to go. Big day for you, brother. So congratulations. $14,000 for Brian yesterday. Way to go, Brian. So yesterday, right, you just get your sort of, it's not a full capitulation, but I would call it like on the day. It's like the daily capitulation move. That's sort of what you had. You just had way too much straight down to start the day. You have people chasing the short. This idiot. Anyways, I'm not afraid to talk about it, man, because I know what I know what I've done in trading. I know I'm a profitable trader. I've made a lot of money trading, but I'm still going to be open to saying I'm doing stupid stuff at times, right? I'm not scared to say that. That's not the persona that I want to provide to people online, is not to hide when I do stupid stuff, because in my heart, I know that I am a good trader, right? And I know that the results that I share are real. And so I can say when I mess up, I'm not scared that that's going to hurt my image, right? So what do? I get too aggressive on some kind of a downside move to start the day, and I get aggressive into a Broadcom gap fill, right? Which it did fit. It went into the gap fill area. So I said, okay, here we go. Broadcom broke under the gap fill, and I'm going to look to fade that under the gap fill level, right? Same thing with Oracle. Oracle down under the gap fill level. So I'm going to look to start to fade that, right? However, those gap fills started to show when the ES and when the SPY went to the daily 20 and the demand level down below. And that was a recipe for disaster, right? Simply put, I was entering those gap fill ideas as the SPY and ES were getting close to the daily 20. And that was not a good idea, right? So the market goes down, people chase it, rip them out. It comes back down, people probably re-shorting it. The whole time, the daily 20 just sitting there, buyers just holding this thing up at our key demand and our daily 20, which we know is a big spot. If you come to this live stream, you know the daily 20 is the thing we talk about more than anything. The daily 20 SMA is a massive spot, and you guys know that. So daily 20, huge hold, and we just sort of rip out everyone that chased the short and anyone that was probably short from overnight, just sort of covering their position, and we just get that zombie grind to the upside the entire afternoon, right? And then every short that attempted it gets sort of ripped out, right, back to the highs, trying to short the first drop, fails, right? Just that zombie grind type price action that's just not going to give you the drop. Now, eventually, later in the day, you actually do get gifted, a little bit of a fail back under off our previous day low, which was the right level to initiate the fade, right? If I would have initiated my short there instead of at the lows, then we would have made a shitload of money, right? So that's just a matter of patience and allowing the right level to trade and taking the right trade at the right spot on the market, right? So waiting for the market to come back into previous day lows and fading it there, that's the trade. And that's what provided an opportunity midday yesterday. Now you come back down to the daily 20 SMA and you just rocket ship off of it once again. So clearly that daily 20 SMA is a rock solid spot, and we can see that here on the 4-hour chart. All right, that daily 20 on the ES is definitely not the spot that we want to be shorting into now. We can clearly see that. So today, what do I need to see on the S&P 500? I have no interest in trading as of right now, which was the original plan, right? Right? Isn't that funny? Right? It's crazy. That was the original plan, and I didn't follow it. Right? So that's the goal, right? We can all create good game plans. The hardest part of the game plan is executing it, right? That's the hardest part about trading. Executing it through the heat of the moment, through the emotion, through the candles going crazy, right? Can you execute your game plan through that environment? That's what makes you a good trader. So 66.76, 66.80, That was that's the previous low from Wednesday. That's yesterday's rejection point, and you can see this morning you're sitting right under it. That's the level you're going to want to see a reclaim at, my friends. If you want to look long, if we're going to get a long that develops off the daily 20, right? If this is the low, and then we look back and next week we look back and say, holy crap, what a long that was off the daily 20. If that is what we're going to see, where does it start, right? Where does that start? That starts on a reclaim back above Wednesday's lows, right? If we get this today and we hold above this into next week, right? If we close the day above yesterday's rejection points, I would be very confident that you could start to see this market reverse back higher. That's the step one. That's step one of the comeback would be a reclaim of Wednesday's lows, a reclaim above yesterday's highs. If you can get that and start to trade like this, that is your first step at a inverse head and shoulder reversal pattern, right? That's something that you would want to look for today. If you do not do that and you stay under this level today, then you stay in this downtrend, right? And the market could continue to stay weak. So we need to see what happens once again at our Wednesday low. The same game plan as yesterday is the same thing as today, right? Do we reject 66.76, 66.80 again? Do we find a fade back down to the daily 20? Or do we reclaim and do we find a long back into the Tuesday low at 6,700, right? And then if we reclaim Tuesday's lows at 6,700, you know this thing is really on a heater up to 6,730, right? Then you're really recovering this move. So we're looking for stair steps back higher for longs, or we're looking for the market to stay under the ceiling for shorts, all right? Very clear today. Just have to execute it. SPY, same thing. Daily 20, rock solid demand yesterday. I mean, right off the daily 20, just two huge lows right off that spot. Massive opportunities right off the daily 20. Today, previous day low, which is at previous day, it's actually Wednesday's lows now, which is 659.67. 659.67 is exactly right here. That's the exact spot we rejected yesterday. And you can see that's the exact spot we're failing this morning. If we can reclaim that and hold above that, then we look for the long to 662, right? If we reject it, then we could look for the fade again back to the daily 20. That's very possible. If we break below the daily 20, that's definitely a big break. That would be a big break to 652, possibly 650. That would be a pretty massive drop, pretty massive change in just sort of market behavior. Breaking the daily 20 is typically not a very good thing for short-term upside. So if we break that, 654, you're probably coming down to this high at 652. You're probably slipping down towards that 650. You would definitely pick up some momentum to the downside if you broke that daily 20. Right now, though, you are seeing it hold, right? So that is something to pay attention to. Reclaim previous day low, you're going back to the 662. Over 662, you're right back up into 664, 665. Let's see if the stair steps start to build once again, right? Let's see if that starts to build back. Let's see if we get that inverse head and shoulder formation, or if this rejection stays true. That's the important spot of today. NASDAQ futures, same thing. A little bit of adjustments this morning, but I'll show you sort of where I have my levels. Little bit of the discrepancy here just because of the overshoot on the NASDAQ futures on Wednesday. The Wednesday's lows are typically are reclaimed right now. You can see that is actually your exact Wednesday low at 24,627, but I do see the failures here around 24,700, and I think for me that's the level that I want to see us back above on the NASDAQ futures. I don't think I want to be long into this rejection from yesterday at 24.7. If we can get above 24.7, hold above that today, then I think you rally towards the 24.8, 24.780 spot, right, for a little 100-point rally on the NASDAQ. That's if you can hold above 24.7. If you reject this again, then you're coming right back down to the FOMC highs, which is 24.550. Under that, back to 24.4, which was our demand level yesterday and was pretty much the exact low a day. You can see right here on the hourly chart, it's pretty clear. You have these major lows from this Wednesday, which is FOMC, right there. And you have these previous highs right here. That was your 24,400 demand. And right under it, you can see the daily 20 is starting to catch up to price action, right? Daily 20 now at 24,334. So this whole area is going to be a massive demand zone down below. My day was 100% based off Desi's pre-market levels Thursday. Nice job, man. Brian, congratulations, man. I saw it in the Discord yesterday. Very happy for you. You stay committed, which is great. 2400, 24,400, 24,300 zones, definitely going to be a little bit of a, block of demand down here, no doubt. You can see that we're definitely holding that spot. You can see we're reclaiming the FOMC highs, right? And if we reclaim this Wednesday low right here around 24.7, you could definitely see this be, right? You can start to see the signs of like a downtrend break, right? Look at that. So this is the spot. Can we reclaim today? 24.7. If we can, I think there's a reason to look for this. After that stronghold of the daily 20 down below. We shall see. Or, this rejects and we stay on the downside. That's going to be the key thing to watch. Okay. QQQ, same thing. You can see I have my alert set on the QQQ, and I'm pretty much telling myself do not trade until one of these hit, right? For me, I need to see the QQQ either back above this 595 spot from yesterday, which you can see is the clear rejection here, also these lows from Wednesday. Can we reclaim the 595, which is equal to that 24,700? If we can, then some upside back towards this 597, 598. If we do not and we reject here, then back down to the 592, which I don't really want to trade within here. Underneath 592, that could bring us back down to the 589, 588. Okay, daily 20 SMA is still a little bit lower, which, maybe the Qs wants it. That's a possibility. You can see the daily 20 still a little bit lower down here at 585 on the Qs. So you might, if you see this failure again today, it might say, hey, I need the daily 20 first, and then I'll go higher. So we'll see. That's all going to, come down to whether we can reclaim 595 today. That's the key, right? You can see these lows right here and these rejections that are coming in right now. Can you reclaim this, or are you going to fail this? Very, very important today. IWM failed under the 241, broke down into the daily 20, sort of exactly what we talked about. Today, I would look for either a pop and fade at these previous highs, right, at 241. That could be really nice on a little rejection of this previous high here. Or you could look for a reclaim long back above 241. That's going to be the key spot. 241, rejections. This is either going to be a rejection here or a pop and hold reclaim, right? That would be what I'm watching. Underneath 238, you continue lower on the IWM, down to 235. Boeing getting some news. Yeah, we'll take a cool peek at it. Yeah, it needs to get back above this high. Wow, very clear high, 220. Looks like it's starting to get back above. SMH. The SMH still has such a massive gap below, but it does not look like it has any interest in filling it. So not really going to look for that today unless you break back under 318. The reclaim back over 318 yesterday was just absolutely stout. That was what kept pretty much the market higher yesterday. This reclaim back above 318 yesterday was unreal. You squeezed right back above 318. You held right back above it the rest of the day. And that was the exact level that we talked about that you needed to get back above. 318, look at that. Bam, straight back above it. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mean, this could really be just a sick sort of trap below and another rip on the SMH. It's very possible here. So let's see. Do you hold 318? I really would like to see the SMH fill this gap first, but I don't see it happening yet, to be honest. It's not really looking like it has any interest in that. But you have a major gap here on the SMH between 312, 305. The way this is looking right now on this bounce off 318 today, I don't see it yet. But we'll see. If we fail back under this high, right, and do one of these, then yes, you probably will get it. So we'll see. Tesla, huge bounce off the exact 414.50 level that we've been talking about on this live stream. You guys can see right here, that is our 2021 high. It is the exact level. Look at that. That thick yellow line that I have, bam, right there. These lows, 414.50, 2021 highs. Another big bounce off of that yesterday. Or I'm sorry, this morning. A little bit, not a big fan of trading Tesla when it's in this consolidation. You guys know that, right? When Tesla's sort of on its, big move, that's really when you want to get juicy in it. But sort of sideways for now. However, I like maybe trying to target some of these lows into the highs if you really want to get aggressive. The only thing I would be careful of today is this high right here. This was very clearly a rejection high yesterday. You can see right here we had 430 rejections back here on that Monday. Look at this level yesterday. It's the exact rejection spot. Look at this. Look at these all-day fails at this level. So for me, right, you got to get Tesla back over this high right here. 430, you need a reclaim above that. If you can reclaim this rejection point from yesterday, then maybe you get a little bit more juice, right? Up to the 435, up to the 441 again. But you got to get over this rejection level from yesterday. That's very clear. Okay, so watch the 429, 50, 430, 36 spot. That is the exact highs from this hourly candle right there. Okay, got to watch out for that. Got to watch out for that. Nvidia. Not a big fan of Nvidia. I talked about this yesterday, not being a big fan of it. It was nice off the daily 20 yesterday. Big rip right off the daily 20, but again, a major fail right at 180. So what does this prove to me? It proves to me that this channel is still just absolutely ragdolling price action. It's just like bam, 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 like every single time. So not a big fan of that. Too tight for me, just channel bound. I don't like trading in these tight channels. I like when something starts to create that higher low, right? When something starts doing this is what I like. Some nice clear highs that create new lows, right? And then we can buy this retest, and then you go to new highs, and then that's what I love to trade. That's the type of chart I love, and that is Palantir, right? Palantir is that chart, which we'll get into in a second. AMD, nothing, sideways, still waiting for a breakout of our NTZ. You can see it's the exact same thing for the last, I don't even know how long. You can see just straight sideways action. So still got my alert set, waiting for it to happen. MU, sort of interesting today on downside if semis do get weak. That's a big if. But the reason I say downside is because if you fail these previous highs right here and make a new low, this could be a nice rejection point. So I am going to be paying attention to what MU does at 160 today. If you reclaim this, you're going higher. That's, very clear. But if you turn this into a rejection point at 160 and you break under the 155 right here, I think you go lower on a little break and retest rejection. All right. So keeping an eye on that 160 spot today on MU. Breaking under 155, I think you'd go pretty much straight to 150. You really don't have much support back here. So keeping a little bit of an eye on that one today. MRVL, very interesting for upside today, which, it's sort of weird to be looking at different, semis for different directions. But MRVL is very much interesting because of its, number one, its buyback that it talked about, right? They're doing a buyback, a big buyback. I think, was it 5 billion? If I'm not mistaken. 1 billion? What was it? Is it 1 billion? No, 5 billion. Share buyback. Yeah, big. And look what it's doing. It's holding right above these previous rejection points. And look what else it's doing, my friends. This one's very interesting today. It's holding above the daily 200. Look at the last time MRVL pushed into the daily 200. Smackdown, right? Look what it's doing right now. It's holding right above it. So if MRVL reclaims the daily 200 SMA today, after holding above 80, 81, which is a major, and I mean major daily rejection point. Look at this. Right here, it's holding above that and the daily 200. If you do that, I'd say you're going to go to 85.36. Over that, you're going to 92. So this thing is pretty interesting, actually. I am definitely keeping an eye on what happens here at 80, 81 today. We got some data. Let's see if there's any real reaction today. see it come through the wire here. Not much yet. Heavy big trucks. 50% tariff on kitchen cabinets. Great. Bathroom vanities. Great. Okay, PCE 0.2 versus 0.2. Personal spending up slightly. Pretty much everything in line with expectations. How the market react to it. Market's a little peak higher. A little peak higher there. Just a little bit. Let's see if it creates a reclaim today. 66.80. Could be nice. It looks like you're getting a pretty decent pop now. Okay. We'll keep an eye on it. We got to be careful of this being a fake pop into this low. So let's make sure we get a nice strong reclaim today, right? Nice strong pop, nice strong hold, nice strong consolidation above, and then look for that break and retest long. That would be what I'd look for. We need to see that happen, though. We got to see it. It can't just be a single candle above it. We got to see it nice formation above. But starting to look pretty good. So back to MRVL. Hopefully this is not gone by market open, but this is a very nice little candle formation here on the 4-hour, holding above these previous highs, and holding above that daily 200. I would definitely be keeping eyes on this one today. Really nice looking. So big watch. 85.36 is a major high. Over that, you probably get a little bit of juice. Let's see what happens. AMD, I mean, if AMD gets over that 164.50 today, you might get it. Nvidia back over 180. I'll set my alert. You know, I'll set my alerts here to see if you get it. Tesla, 430, starting to come in close. You're coming in close. Broadcom, I'm not going to trade Broadcom today. This is barred from my trading list today, but Broadcom could end up being that long off the daily 20. All right, so you could definitely keep an eye out on this. That daily 20, if this thing does end up, you know, holding above its daily 20, could be very interesting for a comeback name if markets do come back. I would say, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to tell which level you want to reclaim here because it's so choppy to the downside. But, I mean, looking at this bigger picture, it's definitely holding above that gap area. Nice trap below it yesterday. Daily 20s there. You got your downtrend. I mean, if that downtrend breaks today, you definitely have the opportunity to look for this to be a long off the daily 20. I would just say look for a reclaim of the daily 20. All right? See if that thing reclaims a daily 20 today and holds strong above it. If so, you probably have a reason to look for it. So that could be interesting. That could be interesting. What else? Qualcomm for the semis, nah. TSM, good pullback. Actually, very good pullback on TSM, guys. Watch this today. Look at this TSM pullback. This is quite nice. It's 271, 271, little downtrend, little one of these. All right. If you get back over 277, that's every reason to look for one of these. So yeah, 277. I got my alert set on that TSM today. We'll see if we get it. Okay, let's move on. Apple. Apple. Nice holds yesterday. Sort of bizarre area. Really no reason for it at that level for me. 250 was the level I wanted to see it off. You're still rejecting this high, so for me, it's still just a channel here. Got to break outside of this channel. Amazon. Okay, Amazon reclaiming back above the daily 100. This is a big level that Amazon has pulled back to, just so you're aware. Amazon has not broken the daily. This could be a sneaky one, guys. This could be a sneaky one. I can't say for sure, but this definitely could be a sneaky one. Why do I say that? What happened the last three times you came to the daily 200 SMA, right? You basically here can just say, all right, if we break the daily 200 the one time I try it, then F me, right? That's, I mean, that's, I'm messing around, honestly, but, you know, that's the thought process, right? 200 SMA, bounce, right? Nice hold. 200 SMA, bounce, nice hold. 200 SMA, bounce, nice hold. 200 SMA. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I do not hate it. I don't hate trading that way, right? Just saying, okay, every other time you come down to this moving average, it's been a nice hold, right? Here, 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 here. I don't hate taking that type of risk reward. Just say, hey, if we hold above that 200, I'm going to position myself long on Amazon. If we break back under it, I'll cut my loss. I'll take that L. And as long as we're over the 200, I'm going to look for this thing to reverse, just like it's done over the last 4 months, right? I don't hate it. So you could watch it. That's something you might want to sort of put in your back burner watch. 200 SMA holding. You reclaim the 100 SMA today. If you hold back above 219.50, this could very well start to recover. I do not hate that look. Something you definitely could watch. I'd say Amazon reclaiming this 219.50 is actually a very interesting watch today, not going to lie. Keep an eye on that. All right. Let's continue. What's GFS? Global Foundries. Chart's sort of ugly, but you got some news today. It looks like from Mike Jones. All right. Let's continue. Amazon, Google. Yeah, Google. Nice hold of the, I mean, it did the gap fill. We talked about that trade being over, which it absolutely was, right? There was no reason to short into this low, so at least I did that right yesterday. That was good. We reclaimed this low, which is pretty massive. We've reclaimed 248 here. That's pretty good for Google. All right, we can see a nice reclaim back over 248, which is very good. If you hold now above this 248 spot, you're going to go back to that 251, and I would actually set an alert over 251 here today. Over 251, this can definitely start to reclaim rip. So definitely watching that. Palantir, awesome pullback to our 172. This was the pullback that we said to, you know, take a triple mortgage out on your house and buy, and I guess that was, you know, that would have been a nice move yesterday. Yesterday, the trade was so clear, and I don't know why I didn't take it. It was just because of the morning downside, but Palantir didn't really care about it. The reclaim of the previous day low yesterday on Palantir was an incredible trade. It was, bar none, the best trade of the day, in my opinion. Just a simple read. Previous day low, 177. Look for the reclaim. Once it reclaims, look to see if it continues off that level, and it went $6-7 a share. Just nuts. A little bit of a fake out here, which sort of sucked, right? I'm sure a lot of people got faked out on this little drop right here. But once you reclaim that level right in here, right, 177, that was it. Reclaiming that PDL, once you got above that and started the trend higher, gone. So sick trade, and look at 177 this morning. So this is very interesting. Palantir staying very strong, very nice consolidation here above the 177, 175 zone. Good little pull back to the 172 to pick up some buyers down here, right? And then sort of holding back above, little alfalfa move, picking up more liquidity. If Palantir gets over 185 today, this thing's going to rip. But let's see, 185 definitely heavy yesterday, so you do need to be careful of rejections there. Hood, really nice hold, 121. That's a nice pullback. That's been our pullback zone. Over 125, if you get above that 125, you're going to continue higher. 121 to 125 is the zone to watch. Aklo, nice hold of the 110. Once we got to that 110 yesterday, the short side trade was over, and you can see it sure as hell was. If Aklo can get above 123.72, then this could definitely be a watch. I'm definitely putting an alert back over 123.72. If you reclaim this low and get back above yesterday's highs, that is definitely a watch for a reclaim ripper. So keep an eye on that. CRWV, nice off 125 again. 138's the supply. Baba. Good old Baba. Baba. Retest. Remember we talked about Baba's going to retest 170? Look what it did. It retested 170. So, Baba's done her breakout. Chasers got smoked. Retest traders now interested, right? So now let's see what happens at 170 today. If you can reclaim 173, I don't mind that look for a long back off this 170 test. That's something I would be watching to see if Baba can get going today. Intel, I would look for the retest of 3280 today. This will be a great looking retest. Look at this previous high. If you can hold back above that level today, that could be very nice. I would keep an eye on that. Intel pretty clean there. MRVL, one of my top watches. It looks like it's starting to run over this 85.36. I think you have room to 92 today, guys. I like this watch a lot. Definitely keep an eye on this one. All right. That's probably going to be it. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a rippy. Yeah, we got a rippy. That daily 20 long, man. There it is again. There it is again. Look at that. Daily 20 long. If you just closed your eyes on daily 20 yesterday, looking pretty damn good. That daily 20 pullbacks to it are always such opportunities. What a beautiful one. Again, this, you know, hey, if this continues, this is still early, guys. So lock in today, right? This is day one of a potential daily 20 SMA bounce. We're going to have to see how things develop today, right? But if this thing sort of locks out any shorts below Wednesday's lows, and if we hold above that today, this could be the start of the daily 20 SMA return to the highs, right? That is very possible. We have seen it very many times in the past, right? Look what happened on the last one. I'm going to show you this right here. Look, my friends. See this? This is the last pullback to the daily 20, right? You had a rejection. You reclaimed it, right? See this? Bounce off the daily 20, reclaim a previous high. See that? Bam, up. So that's sort of like what we're looking at now. Back to the daily 20, reclaim this low, and then see if this can start to build, you know, a new structure point above this low. Very important to pay attention to today. Nice downtrend that is potentially breaking off the daily 20. If this starts to hold, very nice. If you fail back under this, no good. All right, you cannot fail back under yesterday's highs and Wednesday's lows. You can't do it. That's what needs to stay true today, okay? That's what needs to stay true. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic trading day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Actually, forgot the giveaway. Hold on. Hold on now. Eunice is definitely a winner. We know that. So, Eunice, I will, I don't know if, Eunice, if you emailed me, thank you. If not, I'll try to find you. Typeform. Log in with Google. Hold on here. Typeform. Daily attendance. Results. Filter. This week. All right. Let's download these responses. This is for the new t-shirts today. All right, let me get onto X here. Hold on. And it's a funny tweet. Okay, here we go. Pick two winners from this list. Pick two random winners from this list and provide me their first name and last initial. This is for a giveaway. All right, here we go. Jake A, Sean S. Jake A and Sean S. Let's see, hold on, let me make sure I got Jake A and Sean S. Jake A. Got it. I got both. Jake A and Sean I got the full names now. I don't know if they want me to say their full name, but I got them. Not me again. I mean, there's a lot of people, guys. So 762 responses. 762 names. Individual names. I will shoot you guys an email. And thank you for the support. Thank you for coming to the live streams. Eunice as well. All right, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Watch to see if this holds. Right now, it's you gotta see it hold. It's above it, but I gotta see it maintain it. I gotta see it maintain it. It's above it. Can we maintain it? That's the goal today. Okay? All right. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys next week. Peace and love.